Jason says, I'm pretty much just doing albums now and pitching them like 7 to 10 tracks. Yeah. Same here. Like everything I've been working on, it's been album based. Um I'm trying to think if yeah, it's just for the most part just been album based. I've gotten some one off briefs like the one from Tune Edge and some other publishers, but I've been so tied up on the albums I just haven't had time to really focus on them. But yeah, it's just been album stuff. Which I don't know. I've been enjoying it cuz you kind of just get to lock in into a zone and just kind of focus on that. Um so I think it's cool. Phil says if I paid a guitarist to play on a track and I have them sign a work for hire agreement, do they still have to sign a contract with the publisher library or can I have them sign a one-stop agreement? Um no. And I mean, I would double check with the publisher, but anytime I've had a work for hire agreement and they're not getting any royalties or like writer share or anything like that, it would just be the work for hire agreement between me and the guitarist, and then that's it. And then if the publisher needed to see it for whatever reason, I have the agreement. I show the publisher, hey, you know, this is the work for hire, and then I'm just 100% composer or whatever. Then you should be good. The agreement is only between you and the publisher at that point. Um, Unless the publisher has their own work for hire agreement or like release form, which honestly I may come across that situation on a project I'm working on. Um, Sometimes they will handle that if you're bringing in the work for hire, and then they'll handle the agreement just so they're sure that they're handling it according to their legal specifications or whatever. So sometimes they'll do that. So I think to be safe, I'll probably just hit the publisher up like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing, work for hire agreement, you know, do you need me to handle that directly with them, or do you guys need to step in, send them, any type of paperwork to sign off on that, and then they'll let you know what to do from there. That's a great question though. Do you pitch with full songs or just instrumental? Both. Uh, I'm working on I'm working on like both. I'm working on a couple albums that are full songs, and then a couple instrumental albums as well. Yep. So both. um Garvey says you never know who's watching you online when you start to succeed. I'm from the Bay Area. I got a notification from Manny Fresh a few years ago, and Too Short to name a few. Find your zone. That's dope. That's super dope. We got G5 calling in. Let's bring G5 up. Yo, G, can you hear me? I can't hear you if you're speaking. Um, let's take this question from LV. Let's see if G is he might still be getting this set up together. How many pitches you did before you landed your first placement? Seeing where XJ Will said he was at 200 something pitches and then landed a placement. I'm at 146 pitches. You know what? I don't even know, bro. Like I just know it. I know it was taking a long time. So I don't know the exact number from pitches to placement, but that's a nice title. Pitches to placement. Um, but I know when I like very first started to like pitch, it was 7 years. Like from the first pitch through, like I was going through Taxi at the time, Like that was like my very first experience pitching something. Um, yeah, it was another 7 years. It was another 7 years before I got a placement. Um, and the crazy thing, like I was doing some pitching on my own that got me the publishing deal that ended up getting me the first placement on NFL and Fox Sports. And after that, that's when I learned what kind of companies to really look for. And that's when I doubled down and like upped my pitches. So I was pitching to like, once I got out of that publishing deal, I was pitching to like 3 to 5 companies every day for 30 days. And then even beyond that. And then it's tricky because obviously the first placement I knew about was like the first one. The first one I knew about after I went heavy on the pitches. Oh man, I don't even remember, bro. Was it Showtime? It was like this Notre Dame football special or something on Showtime. I want to say that was like one of the first ones. But then I got royalties for this show called Flex and Shanice. And I had placements on that show and I didn't know for like a year. So those were honestly actually like the first placements I got when I started my personal Road to 10 placements journey. I just didn't know about them. So, yeah. I know the 146 pitches is seeds. Some may grow. Just walking in faith. Yeah. Yep. That's all it is, man. Just planting those seeds and then, making adjustments along the way if needed and going from there. Some good indicators. Let's talk about indicators while you're going through like the pitching process or you're waiting for placement. So some good indicators is if you're getting accepted, like you're getting tracks signed to publishers. That's a good indicator, especially if it's multiple publishers. That's always a good indicator. That's like, keep going. You're doing something right because somebody wants your music. Somebody thinks it's valuable. So that's an awesome indicator. If you're getting feedback to make adjustments to tracks that they want to sign, that's a good indicator. Yes, you got to go back. You got to fix some things, but they feel like it's worth fixing and they feel like they can use it if these things are addressed. That's a good indicator. If you're hearing back and they're saying, hey, we like your stuff, we just don't have a need for it right now, it sounds really good, check back in a couple months, a month, a few months, whatever, that's another good indicator. It's just you're just not in alignment at that time with what you have, but they like your work and they want to hear more. It's a good indicator. So keep going. So like once you start seeing those indicators, you're on the right track, you're doing the right thing. Now it's just like, yo, get your shots up, like shoot as many shots as possible to increase your shooting average. Basically. Shout out to LW sharing the TV catalog. Thank you for sharing that link. Int Groove Muse says, I had the pleasure to watch PMA conference. It was dope, very detailed. Yeah, shout out to the Production Music Association. Super dope information they're always sharing over there. Love it. G5, what's good? My bad, Clint. I thought that the link put other Sync Producer Hub members together in a room. Like, oh yeah, no, we switched it up a little bit. So now it's just like the call in live. That's like you guys' link that the general public don't have. We got Michael Connor. Why is let's check, let's bring him up. There we go. Yo, what's good, bro?
That's good. I just picked up the camera, realizing that it was on the desk. And that's the
No
camera,
problem.
the phone, the camera. So perfect timing. Um,
Indeed.
just it was just a comment question about Phil's point about the work for hire
Yeah.
situation, and I think it's even more imperative to have that in place before you start a session, like with the app or the plugin called Muse Sessions. I'm not sure if anyone's seen that.
That sounds
It's, yeah,
familiar.
it's yeah, it's crazy. I saw someone sent me a link to it,
Yeah.
and you can literally work in each other's doors. So you just have the plugin and then you enable access.
Oh, that's dope.
Um, but yeah, it's crazy. So you can be in Atlanta or wherever, and then working on a door in Los Angeles or Australia.
Nice.
Um, but I think having that work for hire is very important, obviously, because to be able to prove that you played those parts, you need that contract in place.
Yeah.
But but yeah, the question was more about if anyone had seen the Muse plugin because it's absolutely, I think it's a game changer, especially like for working remotely. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of what I was kind of getting at.
That's what's up. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. But yeah, I agree 100%. Like talking about that before y'all start working on it is always like best
Yeah,
practice because things get weird.
definitely. Yeah,
Things get
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Uh, I mean, it's enough people in the same studio just saying, "Hey, I did this, I played that, no, I sung that lick or whatever." But
Oh
when
yeah.
you're actually in a door, it's like, how do you prove that, right? You could
Yeah.
probably take a picture if in the studio, but how do you do that in in a session Logic that's like 7,000 miles away, right? So
Yeah. True.
yeah,
It's a good point.
and
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, no worries, anytime.
Yep. All right, man.
Okay, cheers.
Yep. Love it. Um, let me see. 7 years. Yeah, bro. It was 7 years. So and it was 7 years because obviously like I didn't have Sync Producer Hub. I didn't have Road to 10 placements. I just had very minimal knowledge being shared on the internet.